Dustin's expression darkened with a hint of displeasure, and his tone turned much harsher. If he stayed silent and let Julius conduct a search without protest, it would only make things seem more suspicious. Brother Dustin, there was a thief spotted in the residence. The entire estate is now under lockdown. For your own safety, we must conduct a search, Julius said, his face gloomy. Right now, he strongly suspected that Dustin was the thief. However, without any evidence, he couldn't just confront him directly. Of course, if the other party actively resisted, he wouldn't hold back either. A thief? Dustin raised an eyebrow. Something like that happened? Don't tell me the tremor earlier was related. We'll explain everything later. For now, we must search this place to prevent the thief from escaping, Julius said bluntly. With a wave of his hand, he signaled for Zhang He and Wu Yong to take action. The two exchanged a glance, said nothing, and led a group of guards storming into the inner rooms. Julius gave Dustin a deep look before following them inside. At that moment, the spacious and tidy room flickered with candlelight. Within the warm glow sat a woman dressed in crimson. Her black hair was styled high with a red gold hairpin dangling pearl ornaments that trembled gently, casting scattered shadows on her temples. Her brows curved like distant mountains, her eyes slightly upturned, like ripples blooming across a spring lake, shimmering even more beautifully than the coral hairpin she wore. Her nose looked sculpted from jade, her lips rosy without rouge, and when she smiled, it was like red plum blossoms blooming in the snow. Her dimples by her eyes carried a hint of intoxicated charm. Matchmaker? Why are you here? Julius frowned in surprise upon seeing the crimson-clad woman. Greetings, Your Highness. The matchmaker calmly set down the chess piece in her hand and stood gracefully, bowing lightly. I was having a game of chess with Mr. Dustin. We became so engrossed, we didn't notice anything happening outside. Her voice was gentle and soft, with a touch of languid elegance. Julius's gaze fell on the chessboard on the table, where black and white pieces were intricately entangled, suggesting a heated match. He then looked back at the matchmaker, eyes filled with doubt. You two have been here playing chess this whole time? The matchmaker nodded slightly, her expression composed. Yes. We haven't left this room even once. Julius said nothing, but glanced at Dustin, who had just entered behind him. The suspicion in his eyes had not disappeared. Zhang He, Wu Yong, take the men and search every corner, inside and out. See if there's any place a thief might be hiding. Julius ordered again. Yes. The two responded immediately and led the guards to thoroughly search the courtyard. But after a long time, they came up empty-handed. Not even a hint of suspicious activity was found. Your Highness, since there's a thief in the estate, would you like my help? Dustin asked. No need, Brother Dustin. I'll handle it myself. Julius snorted and left with his men in a hurry. Though he still suspected Dustin, without any evidence, he could only bury that suspicion in his heart. Of course, it was also possible the thief was someone else entirely. So after stepping out of the courtyard, Julius gave another order. Zhang He, Wu Yong, mobilize all troops immediately. Search the entire estate. No corner is to be left unchecked. I want that thief found, even if you have to dig 3 feet underground. At once! The two men responded, clasping their fists. They then led the troops away in grand formation. Julius had already locked down all entrances and exits in the estate. There was no way the thief could have escaped in such a short time. They had to still be inside somewhere. As long as the search was thorough, he wasn't worried about not catching them. After the sound of footsteps faded, Dustin shut the courtyard gate and turned to face the matchmaker, his gaze probing. Why did you help me? When he escaped from the hidden chamber and returned to the courtyard, he discovered that someone was already in his room. It was the matchmaker. At first, he thought his identity had been exposed. But he quickly realized something was off, because she didn't try to expose him. In fact, she even took the initiative to hide his nightclothes and mask under the chessboard. Before he could ask her why, Julius arrived with his men. The matchmaker had then flawlessly played along and acted out the cover story for him. But what puzzled him was, why would someone like her, clearly working under Julius, help cover for him? Mr. Dustin, don't overthink it. Helping you was also helping myself. She returned to the chess table, calmly lifted her teacup and took a delicate sip. The corners of her lips curled into a meaningful smile. In Prince Julius's residence, I may appear to be a guest, but in truth I'm nothing more than a puppet at his disposal. I know very well, following him will only lead to a bad end. That's why I want to break free. I know your identity isn't ordinary. Helping you today is my way of paving a future for myself. I don't want to be controlled anymore. I want freedom, and right now, only you can give that to me.
And just can't accept it. This can't be the end yet. You promised to never leave, and now you're gone. Can't believe I can feel the world slipping away as you slowly fade from my everyday. You promised forever, a love without end, but now I'm left broken, struggling to mend. I thought we were so tight, destined for a lifetime, love with no end, love with no end. Staying in my imagination, memorizing the past time, the secrets, the love, the care. Now they're echoes in the air. I still see your face in every place, feel your warmth, your gentle grace. But now there's just an empty space, and I'm lost in this endless chase. Keeping you in my heart, a piece of you I'll never let go. Though distance brings separation, in my